The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Something about that intro music just gets you pumped and ready, doesn't it?
It's like, yes.
I saw you and Leanna dance and bumping your heads backstage as well, doing your little dance routine. They have a dance routine. They do that. You all can see, folks. Don't worry. When Lee comes in for the news, we're gonna get her and Michaela to do the dance routine that they do. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. I'm just gonna say, they thought I was bumping my head. I was scratching something, so I no rhythm over this side. It's Friday, the first day of October, 2021. It's Halloween month. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Linda's. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Michaela Ian, and of course, Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, which is brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Hails, it's Friday. How are you today?
It's Friday and it's International Coffee Day. So yeah, I'm very happy.
She's probably had about 3 cups already. You see,
listen, I will have one shortly after this.
Oh, see, there you go. Coffee high today, folks. International Coffee Day.
Yes, the good coffee though, not the crappy coffee. No diss to people who use Keurig, but no.
I don't know the difference, player.
Okay, so Keurig is the little things that go in the machine and you press it and it comes out. That's Keurig, like the little cup things. And then there's French press, which is my favorite. And then espresso. So you can buy like an espresso machine, and some people drink espresso. There's a whole bunch of other ones, but those are like the main 3.
So to speak my language, it would be like beer, right? You have Heineken, and then you have Heineken Zero.
No.
Okay.
It's like bottled and then like on tap.
Okay, gotcha.
So like French press is like on tap, kind of, and then like Keurig is bottled. Yeah.
Got it. See, you spoke.
So on tap is better.
I get it. Is it? I don't think
it's supposed to be.
Well, I don't know, folks.
And then Nespresso is like craft beer.
Craft beer. Okay.
Yeah.
I learned something today, folks. That coffee education on International Coffee Day. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one to wrap up the week. We will likely have our brother Jugglin J in the building today. The daily play is the feud, so don't worry, folks. It's Michaela by herself today. Don't worry, but Sister Shara is going to be with us on Monday. She had to take care of some business. Don't worry about that. She had to take care of some business today. She'll be with us on Monday. So just Michaela and the feud. So it should be interesting. I don't think she's done the feud by herself. So 3 quick answers.
I have, like a couple weeks ago, like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
It was one Friday where Sherry wasn't available.
Okay. All right. Well, she has done it by herself. All right. So this should be interesting, folks. But look, let's get to today's conversation. So we read an article, right? We read an article. And why didn't I forgot my phone dies. Where's the article? Oh, here it is.
You got it?
CNN, folks. We were on CNN. Mm-hmm. And the title of the article is "Stop Making Employees Turn On Webcams During Meetings." And I'm very interested to hear, especially from HR people, but many of you in the audience, teachers, parents included. So basically, in the article, it goes on to say the latest battle in office life may be over whether or not to keep the camera on during virtual meetings. One woman who works at a New York-based nonprofit told CNN Business she received an HR complaint in August for the first time in her career. First time in her career, because get it, wait for it. She kept her camera off during virtual work meetings.
Mm.
You hear that? All right. So let's find another one down here.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I was on a call with about 15 employees, and the speaker said everyone should turn their camera on because it's company policy and also part of the culture now. She said she had long disliked being in front of a camera. I know someone who teaches people how to be better on camera, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But this is all you, Michaela. Honestly, this is what you do, and this is something I think I actually am happy to see an article about this, because it's a conversation I feel like we've been ignoring for some reason, right? Mm-hmm. It's a subject we've been ignoring. And let me just finish. It was another one I wanted to touch on. Linda Mack, a Los Angeles-based copywriter for brands and startups, says she keeps her web camera off during calls with clients and coworkers because she can concentrate better that way. But she found there are downsides to this approach too. If it's a team meeting and I'm the only one with my camera off for an extended period of time, it can also be a distraction for others. Now, one of the things that our colleague Phil said is that there's also the privacy issue, right? Like for students, for instance, they may not have green screens or whatnot. And for them, it may be like, well, I don't want people seeing my house, like what my home looks like. That was what he was saying. So here's the question of the day, folks. And Michaela's just jumped up a bit. I mean, just look at us. She's just like, oh, shut up and let me talk, Jamal. Here's the question. What are your thoughts on webcams being mandatory for meetings and learning?
So the first thing that I want to say is that I acknowledge that there are a lot of people who are not comfortable on camera. There are a lot of people. These people are my clients. Like, they come to me because they are not comfortable or confident on camera, and I help them become confident and comfortable on camera. This is what I do, right? So I acknowledge that. But I will say, if we want to be able to work from home and we want to have a new normal, and there are meetings, if there was a board meeting, you would be sitting there with your face, right? So I feel like when it comes to being on camera in a meeting, I understand if it's a meeting with like a ton of people. So like if your company calls a staff-wide meeting, I feel like if you have your camera on in the beginning to say hello and then you turn it off, I don't see a problem with that. However, if it's a smaller, more intimate meeting, put your camera on. Like, come on, put your camera on, especially when you're doing one-on-one meetings. I feel it's disrespectful if I'm having a meeting with someone and it's me and maybe one other person and one person won't turn their camera on. That's rude to me. That's very rude. And so like when we talk about privacy, for instance, that's not an excuse because you can blur your background.
You know what I don't like about you?
What? I make a lot of sense?
No, that you've made me take a neutral approach on this show, because it's like, she's saying the things that I would normally say. And I'm like, but we can't. There has to be a different perspective on it, right? I'm like, damn it. But no, so I'm going to take a neutral approach to it, Kels.
Okay. I
actually agree with you. I can't pretend that I don't just to take play devil's advocate. I can't. And that to say, you know, I'm hard on one of my partners, like, especially in the beginning, like, would never turn it on. And for me, it's a sign of respect.
Yes.
Right? It's a sign of respect to be present. It's part of being present. And the example that you gave, Michaela, in terms of if you want to work from home, like this is part of it. Like you can't have it all your way. Carla John actually makes a great point on the back of what you were saying. He says,
this is my next point.
You wouldn't go to a work meeting and put a bag over your face.
This is literally what I was going to say. The thing is, like, I was in a meeting on Wednesday and I had my camera on at the beginning and then I turned it off because my youngest son, Javi, was in and out. And I knew that he would have been a distraction if he was constantly on the camera, off the camera, on the camera, off the camera. So I turned it off for the duration of the meeting for that reason. If I were home without my children, it just would have been on the whole time.
Indeed.
But it's like, we've all adapted to working from home. This is a part of working from home.
So and before we go to the audience, what are your thoughts on the privacy argument?
So when it comes to privacy, you have options. You can create your own background. If you're using Zoom has a variety of backgrounds. I have a client who I used to meet with regularly. And every time we met, she had her background up that she pre-selected. And that's totally fine. I have no issue with that. Or you can film in front of a blank wall so that no one knows where you are. Or you can blur your background. Like my oldest son, he had his background blurred on Zoom during PE. And I walked up, and so you couldn't see me until I was like right in front of the camera. So that was like kind of funny. But there are ways to still be private and show your face on camera. So it's like we can't have it both ways. We can't be like, I want to work from home, but I don't want to show my face on my camera. It doesn't really work like that.
Well, and before we go to the audience, I'll say this much. I do think it, and speaking specifically, not about learning and teaching, but speaking about like professionalism, I do think it can depend on industry as well, right?
Yeah.
And I say this much. If you're in communications, any sort of communications company, turn your camera on. There's no excuses. Let's go to the audience. Kales, take care of Carla, John, Kivani, and Renita Gorham.
Sure. I only ask for folks to turn on their camera when they are speaking. I read lips to understand what they are saying, so having the camera off is not accessible. Absolutely. You can blur your background. Yep, exactly. It's a way to know if you're present in class or the meeting. Indeed. I mean, I get the whole argument of we're all adults, people should be able to trust people. But I mean, I'm sure there are people who are logging into the meeting and then just peacing out and doing whatever it is that they want to do.
Trust people. Have you seen how people have acted during
I'm just saying.
Anyway, we're not going there today. Tommy Pacheco says, I don't think they should be mandatory, but it's helpful to have your camera on for transparency purposes. Talent TJ Clark says, I think Zoom is akin to a call, so unless I'm giving a presentation or need to share my screen, I prefer my screen to be off. Michelle White says, work meetings requires also is for developing relationships. Maybe the company should provide background. Shika Reina Kills.
When meetings are back-to-back for hours, it's difficult to be on camera looking straight ahead. At the 1 hour mark, I'm tired. I've been work from home since 2016 and only had to use a camera rarely then. Now it's 4 to 5 times a day and I can't multitask when on camera. Yeah, I get that.
Well, and I just want to ask you, like, as a person who teaches people how to become better on camera, what would you say to a person like Shika who's saying, like, 4 to 5 times a day? Like it can be tiring being on there. I
think that 4 to 5 times a day is a bit much. I will say that. I feel as though the employer, if she works for herself and there's 4 to 5 client meetings a day, then that's a little bit different. But if you're working for a company and they're requiring you to be on camera for 4 to 5 hours a day, that's a bit extreme. I would definitely have a conversation with someone, because even me, who loves to be on camera, loves to teach people about how to be great on camera, even I don't want to be on camera for 4 to 5 hours a day. You know what I mean? So I feel like there should be some sort of leeway there, some sort of breaks that you're allowed to be had. I'm not sitting here saying, like, for instance, if you have, like, I was in a meeting earlier this year, I want to say it was like 3 hours, 3-hour meeting. And it was basically, it wasn't interactive. It was someone presenting things and doing a training, and then we had to take a quiz or something at the end. I can't remember all the details. But in a situation like that, it's not necessary for you or I to be on camera because it's not engaging. There's no interaction. So I feel like if there's no interaction, then you don't necessarily need to be on camera until you need to interact or engage. So like if someone's facilitating this long training, there's really no need. Like Shika said,
right.
I want to be able to multitask. I want to be able to do something else while I'm sitting in this, which is kind of the same as I would do if I were sitting in a boardroom for 3 hours. I'd have my laptop and I'd be multitasking. Right. So while I think that we should be able to be on camera for meetings and things, when you're talking about longer durations of time, and if there's no interaction, I don't see the point.
Indeed. No, I think that's what's going to be my next question. And I think you pretty much said everything that I agree with from that standpoint. Michelle White says, this also applies to job interviews where they want to see you and they are off cameras. Not cool. Where does that?
Oh, no, I don't.
Please tell me that's just a scenario that you're thinking of. And that
would be horrible.
Yeah, Karen Simmons says, thank you, Michaela. Put your camera on. It's as a sign of respect. Blur the background. I'll put a neutral picture for privacy. When we had face-to-face meetings, you were present. Philip Chart says, you wouldn't be feeling your children in a board meeting either.
I think he means feeding, maybe.
Okay, feeding.
Well, that's a little bit different because if the children are home and you're home, like there has to be some flexibility. Like I had a meeting with my boss the other day. I had to put myself on mute for a hot second. Like it is what it is.
Indeed. No, for real. And I think there's going to be certain things where you may have to turn it off, but at the same time, not the entire time when you're supposed to be part of the meeting. Nachika Trot says, as a lecturer, it creates a scene of community. It had to talk to, it's hard. I think she means it's hard to talk to black boxes.
Yes, I will agree with that. I did a training last week, Thursday, and I do these over Zoom. Sometimes people don't want to turn their camera on. I never ask anyone, but I do say, if you have a question to ask, please put your camera on, please unmute yourself so that I know who I'm talking to. But when I'm doing that sort of thing, I don't have a problem with people not having their camera on. But if you want to talk to me, put your camera on. Let me see you. Thank you.
Indeed. Mishkan, talent kills.
I don't think it should be mandatory, but I generally have mine on to model the behavior for my team. I do turn it off if the session is recorded. Yeah. I'm also ADHD, LOL, so I fidget often and could be a distraction on the call. Listen, you see me trying not to like rock myself all the time.
That'd be me. Janae Pereira Agnes says, I had workshopped with a newborn. I kept my camera on, but angled it in a way so I could still feed without being seen. Philip Schott said there's a difference between being on camera and engaging in the meeting and sitting there in a meeting for an hour listening with your camera on. Yes, and I think that's what Michaela addressed. I agree with that. And that was one that, again, before she addressed it, I was going to put to the audience, because there's a meeting and then there's presentations, right?
Yes.
I don't see the need for people to necessarily have their camera, because in a presentation, let's say you were in a presentation in a conference room, right? At the end of the day, the person that's giving the presentation isn't even acknowledging most people. You look around that room and people are on their cell phones, they're already distracted, especially when they're not interested in it. So I completely get that. Kivani and Renita kills.
While I suggest to blur the background, I don't put my camera on unless requested or advised in advance. It was a camera on meeting. I prefer notice so I can actually look presentable. That's fair. Though we move to a virtual world, student worker mindset should be still as though they are in school. Yes. And this is one of the things I argue with my son all the time. Like, why is your shirt mashed up? Why? Like, if you have to do school from home and you have to be on camera, you need to be presentable. It's part of it.
Oh, sorry. I don't iron my shirts before I come on.
I don't iron my clothes either, but they don't look mashed.
Renee Charlene Simmons says, I was required to send a video to an investment meeting. I recorded it about 4 times because I talk with expressions. So do we, right? When I reviewed take 1, my eyebrows were raised, facial expressions, etc. So I kept redoing until I got it right. Take 4. Hey, we're live every morning. There's no retakes, so props to you.
Listen, I'm gonna just say this. You need some help with your videos, holla at me. I have a program starting on Tuesday. It's very affordable. It will help you. So if you need that help, let me know. Yeah. You won't need to do 4 takes, promise.
I want to go back to the whole thing where people who are working from home, because one of the challenges I'm thinking of while we're discussing this is the fact that it's not only working from home and not having to be in that meeting, right? But again, you have the children that you're doing the distance learning with. So it presents so many different challenges. Now, my answer to the question whether it should be mandatory, honestly, I stand by my answer. I think it honestly should be based on industry or needs of the position. I believe it should be. I do agree that it is a sign of respect that if everyone else has theirs on, then you should too. Like, I think it is a distraction if you're that one person who doesn't have it on. Just show the respect to your colleagues who have made that move.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it should be mandatory. I do think it kind of should be on a case-by-case basis. Like if you have if you're having a meeting with your boss and it's your team and there's 3 or 4 of you on the team, why is your camera off? Yeah. Like, your camera should be on. However, if you're working from home, your kids are a distraction, I would let the people know ahead of time what's going on, so that they are aware. But I think that in a situation like that, You got to have your camera on. If you're in a training or there's a presentation and you don't need to have your camera on, I think that's fine too. I don't think anyone should be expected to sit for over an hour with their camera on. That's just not okay for me.
Indeed. All right. So quick question as we bring Leanna in, folks. Yes or no? Yes or no? Very easy. Do you believe that webcams being turned on should be mandatory for meetings and learning? Yes or no? Just say yes or no. Do you believe that they should be mandatory? Yes or no? I'll read this comment before we bring Lee on. Charles H. Justice II, we recently implemented a policy for cameras to be on for internal and external meetings for the reasons that Jamal gave. However, if you turn your camera off, then let the meeting host know. I get that. You know, it again depends on industry and a sign of respect. Renito Gorham says yes. Kivani Hinn says no. Grant N.S. Smith, no. Talent, no. Karen Simmons, yes. Tommy says, Pacheco says no. It's very mixed here. It's very mixed. Let's bring Lee into the convo. Let's see if she can settle the debate. I love putting her on the spot, don't you, Kale?
It's fun.
Every time. Morning.
Hey. You heard Michaela talking about you just now, talking about let's put her on the spot. You should have heard.
I could have sworn that was a man's voice. But
hello.
You know what? We're gonna
Kale, show her how you can go deep. Go ahead. Show her how you go deep.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that.
The baritone. We're not bringing out the baritone this morning.
No baritone today. But what's your thoughts, Lee? Should the camera be on?
See, like I'm in between because I feel like if it is a meeting, because I know one of our it was a comment earlier that people have consistent meetings throughout the day, and to constantly have your camera on and sit like this and act like you're engaged for hours, that's a lot, during presentations, of course, that makes sense, right? We need to see your face, we need to see you interacting with those that are tuned in, but I feel like in some instances, a camera is not always needed to be turned on. If you're not being spoken to during the meeting, I feel like that's a reason for it not to be on. I've been in plenty of meetings where I know my input is just not required in that specific meeting, so I would keep my camera off. However, if I know that I'm going to be spoken to, my input is required, I will keep my camera on for the duration of the meeting. So that's kind of where I stand with it. But I know I've been in meetings for hours on end, and I'm just like, okay, I've had enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, I think the only separation is what is your role in the meeting. I think that's the important part. But well, let's get to the news break. We have Jugglin J in the back. Have a fun conversation with him after the news break with Leanna. Lee, you ready?
I'm ready.
Over to you.
Thanks, Jamal and Michaela. TGIF to everyone. It is officially the first day of October, and for some, that equals fall cool weather. I hope everyone is having a great start to their day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now, just a few updates coming in from Premier David Burt during yesterday's press conference, with one being the extension of the current 12:30 a.m. to 5 a.m. curfew, and that schools could return to in-school learning as soon as next week. Now, these updates were announced as a means to help combat the surge of coronavirus cases and deaths the island has experienced in the past month. Education Minister Diallo Rabane is expected to give an update today. Meanwhile, the island's chief medical officer also took time to address healthcare professionals during the update that they are perpetuating myths that home remedies are able to treat COVID-19. Now, he urged them to honor their Hippocratic oath to do no harm. In other news, parents are warned this morning about a lounger designed for newborn babies, which has been recalled because of risk of suffocation. Now, anyone who has recently brought a Buppy newborn lounger are being told to stop using them immediately. Now, they say infants can suffocate if they roll, move, or are placed on the lounger in a position that obstructs breathing, or roll off the lounger onto an external surface, such as an adult without pillow or soft bedding that obstructs breathing. The government acted after the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission and the manufacturer Buppy asked people who have brought the item to return them. It is said that the Buppy newborn loungers are sold at 2 stores on island, but those stores were not identified. Consumers who purchase the loungers locally can wait to be contacted by the store for a refund or return it directly to the store. And 3 men were charged in connection with 2 separate murders in magistrate's court yesterday. Shayani Smith and Ricardo Tucker Jr., both 18-year-olds, were charged with the murder of Dwayne Gibbons, who was found unconscious with a stab wound on Blue Hill in Hamilton Parish in the early hours on September 16th, and was later pronounced dead by doctors at hospital. Now, Senior Magistrate Juan Wolf adjourned the case until November 1st and remanded the 2 men, both from Sands, in custody. In a separate matter, 23-year-old Devin Dill was charged with the murder of Joshua Rose and unlawful possession of a bladed article in a public place. The incident is alleged to have happened on June 14th last year outside the Rubis gas station on South Road in Warwick. Mr. Wolf adjourned this case until November 1st as well and released Mr. Dill on $25,000 bail. Now, he ordered Dill to have no contact with prosecution witnesses and to stick to a 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew and wear an electronic tag. He was also told to report to Hamilton Police Station 3 days a week. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 82 and a low near 73 degrees. A tropical storm warning is still in effect from the Bermuda Weather Service. Hurricane Sam is a major storm and is still tracking to the east of the island, and the BWS said its closest point of approach to Bermuda is forecast to be about 187 miles to the east-southeast at 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's all for our daily hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. But before we go, we want to share a little tip with you from our favorite community pharmacist. Now, October is part of hurricane season. Your People's Pharmacist wants you to make sure you and your loved ones always have sufficient supplies of your medications on hand. Now, let's head back to Jamal and Michaela in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Lee. And I want to say this. Obviously, you want to send things off to the weekend in a great spirit, but it's extremely disturbing to hear that 18-year-olds are being charged with a murder. I don't know details, but just hearing that is very disturbing. At 18 years old, I mean, at no age, let's just be honest, at no age, but 18 years old, you should be out finding a way to be productive,
or finding girls like you're 18.
That's productive, right? So I really, we've got to do better as a community, and so very sad to hear that. But Lee, thank you so much for that. And the summer is over, and I'll keep saying
summer's over.
It's over.
Sure, look, Jugglin Jason ain't gonna have you working all weekend. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not.
Don't worry, we'll get him for you. He's coming up next. But thanks so much, Lee. Appreciate it, and we'll see you on Monday.
You guys too. Oh, stay safe, Kales. Sam is on his way.
Listen, I don't want no part to Sam, okay?
Hold on. Kales.
Yes.
Did you go to the store and get anything to prepare for the storm?
Yes.
What do you think?
That's a no.
I'll navigate it shortly. When I get off here.
It's gonna be that person rushing to the store, get those last minute supplies.
Oh,
Check you later, sis. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
All right, folks, do not go anywhere. Thanks again to People's Pharmacy, bring you that news break with Leanna Lambert. We'll be back with Jugglin J after this. Michaela. Gorhams, close your doors on her.
Nuco is a company impressively dedicated to the production of coconut concoctions. Their motto is coconuts for life, and however that resonates, it seems to have done the trick for vegan snack lovers. Nuco uses 3 ingredients in their wraps: pure organic and GMO-free coconut meat, coconut water, and unrefined virgin coconut oil. Nuco extols them as the all-natural alternative to bread and tortillas. This month we're featuring gluten-free Nuco organic coconut wraps in a 5-pack. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Welcome back to the big show. I believe that's Jugglin J's voice on that commercial, you know. Welcome back to the big show.
It is.
It is, isn't it? I'm not sure I realized that all this time. Welcome back to the big show, Michaela, and I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindos, and our friends at People's Pharmacy. Without further ado, let's bring Jugglin into the conversation. This should be exciting. This is always an exciting conversation with our local resident DJ Jugglin. What's up, bro?
Morning, guys. Morning.
Morning.
We're getting some feedback from you.
Hook it up. Morning.
Yeah, you probably had to use your phone, right?
Is that better?
No, it's doing it a bit. You got headphones for your phone?
I know. So we're gonna ride it out.
All righty. Well, firstly, just turn your phone the other way, so we got you on landscape. Hopefully you don't have one of those iPhone things, because everybody knows Samsung's the way to go.
Whatever.
What type of phone do you have, Michaela?
iPhone. Both of my phones are iPhone.
Oh, please grow up. Why are you giving me that look?
I'm ignoring you. Let me just say hi to Javi real quick, because Javi's watching and he keeps talking to the TV thinking I can hear him.
Your son?
So, yes. Hi, Javi.
Hey, Javi. You guys weren't speaking back to you. So, Jugglin, real quickly, first off, what you been up to?
It's been a crazy summer. I mean, on and off relations. We had a chance to some type of work summer. Obviously been creative as far as doing parties or happy hours. But for the most, I have a joy per se. I've kept busy. She's kept me busy, and that's with the broadcast for the cricket over the summer. Basically, took a lot of my for the summer. But obviously music. Small part. I'm gonna say small weddings, happy hours.
Let's do something, because it's really bad. I'm gonna need you to sign out, then sign back in to see if that fixes anything. All right.
I'll try that.
It's just repeating. All right. Sorry about the challenges, folks. Jugglin Jason's gonna sign out, then he'll sign back in. I'm really sorry about that. Most people think DJs and they just think nightclubs, but Jugglin Jason, as you heard him on the commercial on Medical House, he is part of the Voice of Summer that was, I believe, started by the late Jim Woolrich, and now him and Sean Tucker are doing it.
Yes.
And he'll be returning to BCG Radio with his Reggae Mondays on Monday. And then also he does the Friday office workout. The office workout's a blast, folks. Like, I mean, it's an office workout. Like, just listen to the music, and you might. Well, the thing about office workout now, a lot of people are working from home still, right?
Yeah.
So it's a bit more comfortable. Have you So Michaela, do you dance in your office when a good song's on, like around people in the office?
So I have my own office, and I blast music in my office. Yes, and yeah.
So people will walk across. They can walk across and see you going crazy.
Yeah.
No care in the world. Yeah.
Everybody knows that I like a little turn up. I like a little dance. Love a little soca. Everyone knows that. So I'm not gonna hide it.
All right, audience. Question for you. Do you play music in your office when people are around and just dance like nobody's watching? That, I mean, I have a high wall, and so no one can see my head moving. So but what my colleagues do is, if they hear me start singing, they say Alexa, and they just I don't know. I mean,
you sang pretty good earlier this week, so I don't know what their problem will be. But like when it comes to music, so I listen to DJ Private Ryan a lot because I'm a soca junkie. And it's so funny because at the beginning of his mixes, it always says something about we are not responsible if you break your office chair.
Jugglin J, he's gonna need a disclaimer like that. Let's bring it back.
Yes, it's so funny.
Jug, do you have a disclaimer for your show?
It needs to be one.
So look, talk to us. So go ahead, Kels. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Sure. So give us an update on what's been going on in the DJ world over the last 18 months, because it's not been normal.
No. Obviously, a lot of the guys, especially full time, have that struggle, especially with a lot of the major event shows that we normally get to see. That's one thing. A lot of the full time, or not just DJs in particular, we really miss the live interaction with people. And show the opportunity to present our craft to people, but also good vibes. And we haven't had the chance to do that. So we've had to do smaller versions of happy little cruises here and there. Things of that nature to still some people come up and they mesmerized from and just distraction from COVID. Conversation of COVID. You just imagine. We did probably about a month ago at Snorkel Park, and I hadn't seen people since last year. And just the smiles on people's faces, and that just from all the anxiety everyone on a day-to-day basis on social media or mainstream media. It's all for that 3-hour period.
Indeed.
Yeah. So let us know. I mean, how has the DJ fraternity been impacted? Because they'll say, okay, it's fine. You can have functions of up to a certain amount of people. You don't need safe key. And then you need safe key. We can't have more than 50 people. We have a curfew. Like, how has that impacted the entire DJ fraternity with the constant change of rules and things?
There you go. You have, so take for instance, we would normally get a deposit, right? Well, what will happen is, for the most part, the promoter or the planner get these restrictions that Thursday, and then all of a sudden now swiped out for the weekend. So it's you got to relax a lot of your price, relax a lot of your stipulations on the tracks, just to make sure still be that gig. A prime example, out of a year, know me, I'm booked out 48 out of the 52 weeks out of a year.
Mm-hmm.
Solid. Where it's probably going down to 2 years. Maybe 12.
Wow.
I'll give you another prime. We're in the month of October 1st.
Mm-hmm.
For 15 years, and I know Michaela, you know this personally. The other time, October 1st, I was booked for Christmas.
Yeah.
Not one company's reached out because they don't know. They don't know.
Yeah, nobody knows that it's
budgets. When it comes to budgets of that nature, nobody knows. You don't know if you're gonna have 10 people. You don't know any, and the decisions not to be done. Well enough to venture it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So how can you then plan for that? I mean, even if a DJ is not a full-time DJ, a lot of people use DJing to supplement their income, right? Maybe to pay for their child's private school or whatever. So how do you then manage?
Rest of everybody else, we're all taking licks, and unfortunately, that's the way we're here. We get busy a little bit in the tunnel, but we just it comes. I mean, I'm more person control them. Some things. If you keep worrying about all the things that you can't control, then so I use music for me to keep me seen, lifted, and hopefully that's my presentation.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And just talk to us, Jay. Obviously, you've been doing this. I'm not going to age you, but you've been doing this for a long time. And for those, as I stated before you came on, you do the cricket, you do commercials. You're not just a lot of people think DJs are just those people you hear playing music in the club. You do radio, you do, as I just stated, commercials. You've done you do sports commentating. But speak to us about your return to radio and when people can expect to hear you where and so on.
Well, finally, BCG Radio will be back live and living. Starting Monday. And as you know, folks, on BCG Radio on Mondays, we have Radio Mondays, and I will be doing a show from 12 to 3. Now, that's obviously we're picking up for a week before we took our break. And then we'll have another Friday. Fridays are we want to say our classic show. That's our show for the people, where we have Michaela, we obviously will have our office workout, and next week a lot of people going down to Miami Carnival, so songs that you be hearing, but also gives you a chance to flash and hear songs, those classics we used in the day. Let's introduce new music to you guys, because once radio, that's one of the joys for radio when it comes to music. It's introduce music. These artists are in the studio week after night to present you guys with new music, ideas, news of what they're feeling. It's up to us, and radio looks to actually present it to you guys. So not every show is an old school show. You need to have some new music entities. And that's what we hope to do. Not only national artists, but also artists. It gives us to high local artists. Other guys who are even live wires I saw him presenting. Not too long. But once again, it gives these guys an opportunity, and that's why we want to do video Mondays and Fridays.
There was a running joke. I can't even remember who it was when it came to old school DJs and so on, and they will always say an old school DJ is a cheap DJ because they don't want to spend money on new music. But
I never heard that one. That's funny.
Yeah. But no, I definitely agree. It's important to make sure that you evolve as a DJ. And I actually forgot about Miami Carnival coming up next week, and
it's a lot of people going for that.
I should expect a lot of Bermudians in South Florida.
Yes,
I'm gonna be treating Bermudians like they treated me when I came to Bermuda. Like I'm coming from Florida, and I was a disease. Well, folks, real quickly, Jay, how can people get in touch with you? Because, like you said, you haven't had any calls, but we don't even know if there's going to be a Christmas season. But if someone's one of the things that have come up during the pandemic is I've had people reach out to me, hey, I want to play some background music at my birthday party. Can you program BCG Radio so that I can have it in the background? We would like such and such. Do you, where can people get in contact you for things of that nature?
Obviously, hit us up on my social media. Actually, Jugglin J, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter. But BCG Radio, send us a private message to BCG Radio. We'll get whatever needs you on musical music. We have here, So starting Monday 12, and also Friday 2. So easy for you guys. Remember 12 to 3 radio.
All righty, Jugglin J, folks. Hey, look. I'm looking forward to it. It's been too long. April, I think. Last month.
Last week, April.
All right. Well, Jugs, we'll be there.
Yes.
And, make sure you enjoy this weekend off. Again, cricket's done for you as well for now. So looking forward to some big things on Monday and Fridays.
Take care, guys. Have a good weekend.
Appreciate it. You too.
Bye.
All right, folks. If you haven't already, thanks again to Jugglin Jason. Make sure you go and download the BCG Radio app. It's available on both Apple and Google Play stores. Jugglin does it, man. I mean, I think there are folks that are DJs, and then you have people who are personalities. And if you've never listened to him on Reggae Mondays or Fridays when he does a show that ends with the office workout, give it a chance. Trust me, it will change the way you listen to music. So catch him at 12 to 3 on BCG Radio. If you don't know what that is and need us to type it for you, go let us know. And then end your week, go into your weekend with the office workout. Kale, so quite a few people like you. Marquita Lee says, I do play music and I do play music and sing along, she says. Carla John says, yup, my office is huge, so I invite them to dance with me only on Fridays, though. Adeline Stevenson Swan says, nope, I only listen to Elton John, so it's kind of hard to dance to his music.
She said only, like that. Headline, come on, that's it. Just Elton, like nothing but Elton.
Yeah, I'm sure she has to listen to something else. Natalie Sheen says, I work in a shop and blast playlist dance. So, people, look, music is a way of life. Like I said, I sing in the office until they turn on Alexa. They put Alexa on, but I guess so. That's my sign. Like, we need some music. So I just start singing. But
I want to know what people are listening to though, like, because I feel like Bermuda has this like stereotype. We listen to soca, we listen to reggae, and then hip hop and rap, right? So I want to know what people listen to, because it's so funny. Because my brother his name is Trey. He's 29. Is he 29? Yes, he's 29. And so we grew up in the U.S. I think he was 5 when we moved, and then he went to boarding school. So he spent 5 to almost 18 in the US, and he does not listen to reggae. He does not listen to soca. Like he listens to alternative and rock and like all this other stuff that I'm like, oh my God, this is not music. But like, I just love to hear what people listen to. Like what gets you going on a playlist, like Carla said, on a Friday, dancing around? Is it Beyonce?
What's your genre, folks? What's your genre of music? What you enjoy? Terry K. Kills.
I listen to Lofi playlists on Spotify to keep focused. What, Terry, what is that? I've never heard of that. Oh, I thought they were calling you.
No, Karen, they weren't calling me Alexa. They were asking me, they were trying to turn me off by turning on Alexa, but I appreciate you for thinking that. Yeah, apparently they don't like my singing. I don't know what's wrong with them.
Listen, you were great singing to Oniki the other day. So
yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with them.
Yeah, the haters in every circle. Carla John says, my Spotify playlist goes from reggae to R&B and rock. And I'll be honest, I mean, folks, I got my start in real radio at a country station. Do I like country music? It has to be mainstream country music. I'm not a country western person. But my favorite kind of music will always be R&B. Always be R&B. That new After 7 song, Bittersweet, should be number 1 on the charts to me. Like, that's the kind of R&B person I am. After R&B, it's going to be probably soca and then reggae. I've been a child of soca, like loved Calypso back in the day and graduated to the more updated soca as it's evolved. Macho Montano, saw him back in the 90s at Baylor's Bay before he was doing sellouts like he is now. Like, I've just always been a fan of it. I just believe in different music for different times, right?
Yeah.
Shawnette Bell says R&B, soca, reggae, gospel. Terry K says it's smooth hip hop sounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
David Michael says I am neither soca or reggae junkie either. It's jazz, R&B, pop, or gospel for me.
Yeah, I love soca. Like I always liked it when I was younger. And then when I went to university, the friends that I used to hang out with, there were Trini people from St. Croix, a few Jamaicans, but it was mainly like island people, right? And so they knew the new soca. Nobody in Bermuda knew the new soca. And so that really, I was 18. Yeah, 18. And that like really opened my eyes. And like, I feel like Bermudians never knew who the artists were. Like they would just dance to the song, go to the soca show, you know.
No, they thought Byron Lee sang everything.
Oh, yes, Byron Lee. And then
they thought he sang, oh, that's Byron Lee. So, no, it's not.
Right. So that was like, oh, I knew who the artists were. I knew who the songs were. And so soca just became like, oh my God, I just loved it. And then like I would go to Toronto and like you would go to like clubs and they'd be playing soca. And it was just, it was just amazing. So soca is my favorite. Masha Montano, even though he's older now, is still my absolute favorite soca artist because anything he puts out is gold. So I love soca. I love reggae too. Like absolutely love reggae. And then if we're talking about other music, like anything Beyonce, thank you. Love Rihanna, but I don't really do hip hop like that too much anymore. But I'm a massive Jay-Z fan. Love Jay-Z.
I'm not a hip hop guy. Like I like the Tupac, Biggie, Nas era, but I haven't grown into the new to hip hop era. But let's go back to the comments before we take a break. Terry
Sure.
Kate says, my favorite artists to listen to right now are Eric Bellinger, DVSN, pronounced Division, and Ty Dolla Sign. Tommy Pacheco says, I mix it up depending on my mood, jazz to focus, R&B, reggae, gospel. Renee Sherilyn Simmons, I love old school music, R&B, soca, classical. And Danica Butterfield says, I listen to soca the most. I'm also a lover of 90s R&B. We have a Chronix. Actually, a few summers ago, I didn't know who Chronix was, and Michaela, I think she took offense to that. You remember that on social media? I
do.
Yeah, I was like, here's Chronix. And I think she read me the Reddit, folks. Like, this was
I'm
about
pretty sure I
3-4 years
did.
ago.
Yeah.
Lydia Simmons, start my day with Chronix. I can, reggae, R&R. Well, I think she means R&B and then jazz. And I must say, I am a fan of instrumentals, and that's how I became a fan of R&B, particularly like Kenny G. Like, I love a good
Kenny G. It's so funny. I grew up on Kenny G. My dad used to play the saxophone, and so Kenny G. My God.
Indeed. No. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. While we're doing that break, we haven't done this probably all year. We're going to do a roll call.
Okay.
Let us know in the comments where you were tuned in from. If you're in Bermuda, don't just say Bermuda. Say where. Say Pembroke or Devonshire or Ferry Reach. Let us know where you're tuned in from. We're going to do a giveaway after the Daily Play. All right? Do not go anywhere. Roll call, where you tuned in from, and stick around for the hashtag for today's Daily Play. Stick with us.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
All right, welcome back to the big show. She's McKinley and I'm Jamel Hartman. Thanks again to Jugglin Jason as well. If you appreciated today's discussions and conversations, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Thanks again to Medical House, Lindo's, One Communications, and our newest member of the family, People's Pharmacy. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Michaela, are you ready?
Ready. Hi, Javi.
All right. It's the feud today. Oh, Javi playing too? It's the
Javi just walked in the room.
Oh, he thought the commercial meant the show was over, folks.
I guess.
Right. Here we go. First question up for the feud. Name the part of the body you use the most from the waist up. Too easy.
The part of the body, your hands?
Yeah, that was too easy. Hands number one by a long shot. Then it was arms, then mouth, then eyes, then brain.
Actually, my first thought was mouth, but then I was like, no, hands.
Yeah. Hands. All right. So, second question. Name something an auto racer hopes won't happen to him at a race. Easy.
Crash.
Yeah, number one. Crash by a long shot. Gets a flat, run out of gas, loses the race. These are too easy today, folks. And I didn't shuffle them or anything. I just picked up the first three. And here's the final one. This might get her, folks. This might get her. It is Halloween, and it's just funny how this one showed up. What monster scares you the most?
A monster?
What monster scares you the most?
I don't know.
Oh, we got it, folks. I don't know.
I don't really know monsters.
I don't know monsters. Two strikes.
No, I'm talking. I'm not guessing.
No. Nope, it's not Boogeyman. It's not Ghost.
It's not Chucky?
It's not Dragon. Nope. I'll read it one more time. What monster scares you the most?
Nobody else has any good
Not
guesses?
Candyman. Not Dracula. Oh, someone got the number 2 answer. The number 2 answer is Frankenstein.
Yeah, I grew up 7 Day. I wasn't allowed to watch any of this. So, I don't know.
Wow. So the number one answer, I think it's going to pretty much shock people. I think a lot of people are saying Frankenstein, but it's not Frankenstein. It's going to shock people. The people are saying Dracula. The number one answer, folks, what monster scares you the most? Number 5 is Freddy Elm Street. And I think people said Freddy Krueger. Number 4 is a werewolf. Number 3 is Jason, Friday the 13th. Number 2 is Frankenstein. And number 1 is a vampire.
But none of these are monsters.
Kels, I don't make the questions.
I'm just saying they're not monsters. A vampire is not a monster.
Kels, this is Steve
Freddy
Harvey
Krueger
and them.
is not a monster.
No. This is Steve Harvey and them. This ain't me, bro.
Okay, that question was very misleading, and I think the audience will agree with me. Audience, I'm sure you agree with me. None of these answers were even monsters. I'm just saying, a werewolf is not a monster.
You know what?
Because that's the direction that my brain was going. I was like, oh, maybe it's a werewolf or that. But then I was like, but a vampire is not a monster. It's a vampire.
You ain't gonna heal the owl, huh?
Nope. Listen, I got 2 out of 3. That means I got 4 out of 5.
All right, folks, give her 4. Let's give her that round of applause. Give her 4. Anyway, people are tuned in from everywhere. We've got Southampton, Bermuda, St. George in his house, Charlotte, North Carolina. We love it. Hamilton Parish. All righty. Hamilton Parish is in his house.
Yeah.
Napton Hill Smiths, Warwick, Bermuda.
Hi, Michelle.
I'm saying, where are my Pembroke folks at? Come on now. Lithonia, Georgia. I'm very familiar with Lithonia. Got some peeps down in Lithonia, Georgia. Pembroke, Bermuda. There we go. Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
Oh, I must ask, has it snowed yet? We've got Northern Ontario, Canada, with the leaves.
Listen, the last time I was in Toronto was early November 2019, and it was snowing, okay? And it was cold.
We've got Devonshire, more Atlanta. We love to see Bermudians outside of Bermuda tuning in. So thank you for checking us out. Southampton, Bermuda. Is this York, Pennsylvania there? York,
yeah.
There we go. Thank you for your support. Pembroke, Bermuda, of course, giving us some love. Sands, Bermuda. Okay, I thought you all didn't like us because of your Somerset team and whatnot, but I'm glad to see you hanging out with us. More Somerset out there, hanging out in Somerset, listening to Bob Marley and tuned into us. We appreciate you. What a combination. We got a ton right here. Charles
all right.
We got St. David's in the house. So St. David's. We're gonna do a giveaway, folks. Let's do the giveaway because I did promise you one last week and we didn't do it. So the hashtag is gonna be, we're gonna do something.
What we're gonna do?
People's, since they're our new sponsor, People's BDA. All right.
No apostrophe. Just
no apostrophe, folks.
BDA.
People's BDA. That's gonna be your gift card, and we're gonna get you. The winner is gonna get a $50 voucher from us to People's. So it's
Can I play?
BDA. Go ahead, play. And if you win, you ain't getting the prize. Go ahead, play. Kales, let's wrap it up though while people put their hashtag People's BDA in. What are your thoughts on today's discussion? I mean, being on camera, talk to us about how your business solves this problem.
Sure. So the people that I work with, they come to me because they know that they need to be better on video because maybe their job requires it, or maybe they are an entrepreneur and they know that connecting with people via video is the best way to bring new clients in. So what I do is I help them become more confident and comfortable on camera. And then I teach them video strategies, basically using minimal equipment or what you already have so that you can create, not only feel comfortable and confident on camera, but also create quality videos at home using what you have and feel confident about those videos. So it's kind of like twofold because I feel like a lot of people, they're not comfortable and confident on video, but then when they get there, it's like, okay, but now I need to create videos and I only have an iPhone. Guess what? You can make great videos on an iPhone. So I think it's just really being able to give people that feedback, that thoughtful critique, and then also holding them accountable. Because when you work with me, you actually have to create videos. And then I then give you thoughtful critique on those videos. So it's not just a case of I teach you what I know and you walk away. No, you actually do the work. And then I give you feedback.
Indeed. No, honestly, and folks, it's certain things you don't think of, but you'll be surprised how much things can help. I remember when I done Toastmasters, right? It was very helpful because even though for some, like I remember I had to speak at a prize giving, right? And I was nervous. Man, you're on the radio. People can't see me on the radio. When you're on the radio,
different.
it's between you and a mic, right? It's very different. So I'm glad that you know, even when we have people coming on this show, they speak about how nervous they are. Like, trust me, folks, it goes a long way just doing a session here, a session there. Kales,
Absolutely.
I want to do the giveaway and then the
Sure.
daily inspiration. All right,
Sure.
so let's do the giveaway. Let's bring it up, folks. We've got a lot of folks there today, so let's see who it's gonna be. Sorry if it's not picking you up, but yeah, let's do it. People's BDA, who's getting $50 off us today? Let's go.
What Sherry says, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
Yes. Here we go. Sheikah Rena. Are you gonna use that $50 from North Carolina?
Then she comes and visits.
They do have a website, though. They do. Congratulations to you, Sheikah. Don't forget, when you win something, make sure you send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com. So engage@thedailyhour.com to claim your winnings. Kales, what's some inspiration to send us into the weekend?
Oh, this is a good one. All right. This is from, her name's Brooke Crawford. Mm-hmm. The gap between the life you could live and the life you are living is called focus.
I like that one.
Yes, sir.
Focused, folks, if you haven't already, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you go on our website, check out what we have going. If you haven't already, I know a lot of you still watch on Facebook. Make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe, hit notifications so that you can make sure that one day when we're on YouTube only, you don't miss out.
Yes.
Thanks again to our partners, Medical Hours One Communications and Lenders, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. Also, People's Pharmacy. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you next week when we'll be focusing on mental health. You'll have health experts from BHB on very important conversations, folks. So please share them. Make sure you're tuned in, engage. These are times that we must ensure that we are engaging experts about very important topics. She's Michaela N. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a great and safe weekend. Peace out.